Hello. Every single time I start an Untangled, I have to clean my mirror. Hello, everyone. So good to be here with you guys. Sorry for the glare. Very sorry for the glare. Welcome to Untangled. We are on episode 102. Can you guys let me know how the sound is, that you can at least hear me? I have a little setup I made here, and I don't know how the sound is. So fingers crossed, you guys can hear me somewhat okay. So good to be here with you guys on this Thursday. Usually for Untangled, we are doing them on Tuesday, but it is a random Thursday, and we are doing our Untangled. I have not been on for 3 weeks, and my internet hasn't necessarily been the best here in Kenya. But today we have a good one. We have a good internet. So we are jumping on and we are connecting. So thank you for being here, all of you guys, for this Untangled series. I've been doing this for a couple of years now, and Untangled is all about talking about our evolution, the evolution in human consciousness, what we're doing here, how do we navigate it, and how do we stay focused on why we are here at this time, why we are actually on the planet, and how to navigate it. Every single day, every single hour, every single minute, we get tossed around, and we forget. We forget what we're doing here. We forget why we chose to be here. We get caught up in the intense energies that are swirling around us, and we lose the focus. When we've basically lost the focus into the moment we jumped into the human body. But every moment is an opportunity to remember. Every moment is an opportunity to touch base and to slow down. Thank you, Channeling Divine, for that super chat right away. Thank you for that super chat. Let's just get started. We have 1 hour to spend together. And first, I would love to just update you guys on what I've been doing and where I've been. Some of you know if you are in my Patreon community, but I have been in Kenya for the last 2.5 weeks, and I was in Athens a couple days before that. And I have been traveling around and listening to the land and listening to what's next for humanity based on what this land is sharing with me. I was called to Kenya in December. Many of you know that. And I've gone back twice. This is my 3rd time back. And there is something profound and powerful about this land, specifically the land around Kenya. And there is a significant difference. Thank you, Angela, for that super chat. There is a significant difference in energies between the land here in Kenya and where I live in the United States, specifically California. Significant. And one of the beautiful reminders that I want to share with all of you right now, one of the biggest takeaways right now for you. I shared this in Patreon, but I really think it's important because you're being tossed around right now and swirled around in all of these energies, okay, like a whirlpool. And for some of you, it feels fine. For some of you, your bodies are completely disoriented. For some of you, your thoughts are way more intense than they've ever been. Some of you, your emotions and your emotional states are wonky and all over the place. Some of you are continuing to kind of bump your head against the wall, sort of like just continuing to repeat the same things. And it almost can feel like things are getting worse. All right. And so, what I'm here to remind you as I am on this really powerful land, in fact, I would argue that this area of the planet is probably some of the highest frequencies on the planet. And it has held super intense high frequencies for thousands and thousands of years. And it's not a high frequency like, those like Machu Picchu places or maybe the pyramids or, places where you're like, oh my God, Mount Shasta, places where it's like spiritual places that pilgrimages where people go. That's a different type of high frequency. This is a high activating frequency that's grounded and subtle. It's uh, it's the way we are designed to experience higher frequencies, which is grounded, embodied, subtle, and just this feeling of being home. And so the area around here and around Kenya, and it's almost like it has this like portal from underneath the ground that is holding the frequency that all of humanity in this planet is moving towards. All right. Of course, if you come to Kenya and you look around, there's all kinds of heaviness. There's all kinds of it's got the polarities, which is what I love about Kenya, because we're not here to not be in polarity. So there's black and there's white. There's yes and there's no. There's right and there's wrong. There's good and there's bad. There's feels good, doesn't feel good, positive, negative. That's going to be here for a very long time. So what you're going through right now is not about getting out of the polarity. All right. It's not about getting out of the dark or getting out of the uncomfortable, getting out of the low, getting out of the negative. It's about being able to understand that who you are as an aspect of God or an aspect of source, who you are, your essence is coming online. Your essence is slowly but surely coming online, believe it or not, no matter how miserable or challenging this moment is. And it comes online in the chaos. It comes online in the loud, obnoxious distractions of the world. It has to come online in the midst of all of this, right? And so one of the messages I want to send to you all right now is that a large percentage of the planet is in a heavy density, right? A real heavy density. There's all kinds of poisoning, right? There's all kinds of loud distractions on the phone and on your just walking outside and interacting with your coworkers, maybe family members. It's loud. It's getting louder, right? And it's heavy. All right. We have to learn how to be able to start to you have to learn, you have to remember. It's not even a learning, it's a remembering that no matter what is happening in your experience, in your life, in your day to day, no matter how mundane it is, no matter how, basic and third dimensional it is, no matter how non spiritual it seems, no matter how unenlightened it is, every moment that you're experiencing your experience is an opportunity to remember that there is something that is being activated within you that's trying to call your attention to it, regardless of what you're in. You see, I think a lot of us throughout our spiritual walk, our spiritual awakening, our waking up out of the illusion, we think that somehow it's going to get quieter and perhaps even more peaceful based on the external world. Meaning that if dot 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 is different, if this is different, if that is different, if I did this, if this person did that, if the world was different, then I will be able to be connected to source, God, soul. Then I'll be able to feel at home. Then I'll be able to feel at peace. Then I'll be able to feel calm, right? So we're waiting for these sort of like external things to happen. Or even we're waiting for some sort of moment within us to be spontaneously awakened, spontaneously okay, right? And that's not what's happening. It's just not how it works, unfortunately. There isn't some moment that's going to happen where we're going to find ourselves, out of this. And the intensity of heavy density on the planet, the heaviness you're feeling, right? Some of you, um, is is designed, okay? It's designed to rattle you into the awareness that this is not who you are. Eventually, the heaviness gets so heavy, the loudness gets so loud, the distractions get so obnoxious that eventually you say to yourself, all right, something's not right here. Even let's say you wake up out of the illusion, let's say you know that the media is always lying to you, or you know that all the food is really, not so great, and it's got all these pesticides and whatever it is. Even that begins to get tiring, and you start to let those things go, right? So there's this process that we're going through right now where there's an intensification of your experiences. And no matter how intense or loud it gets, everything is redirecting you back to who you have always been or what you have always been. And you're doing it on a planet that is heavy and dense, no matter. Listen, you can do all the meditations and you can do all the activations in terms of like raising yourself into some sort of state or vibration. Fortunately or unfortunately, you're still standing in real heavy density. And so the key to all of this is to be able to recognize that the density doesn't need to go anywhere. The density doesn't need to go anywhere in order for me to remember I'm God or I'm soul or I'm spirit. And this remembrance not only is your birthright, but you don't need to do anything in order to start to consciously choose to kind of activate it or recognize it or remember it. It's a moment by moment choice to remember who you actually are. Doesn't require courses, it doesn't require all kinds of different it doesn't require this stuff, it requires a remembrance. All day, every day, as often as you can, in the midst of an energetic battle where you are being heavily inundated with energies that are continuing to convince you that you need all of this external stuff. You need to stay distracted. You need to listen to all these people. You need to get rid of all these different thoughts. You need to change your emotional states. You need to make sure you're eating this kind of food and drinking this kind of water and being in this kind of environment. It's exhausting. And it's only going to continue to get exhausting because it needs us, this evolutionary process needs us to come back to right here, which is the hardest thing we're learning to do, also the easiest. And it's simple. It's just a remembrance. It's simple, but it is extremely challenging and difficult in life and on the planet. What's so interesting about Kenya and what's so interesting about places that truly hold what I would call a fifth dimensional perspective, the ability to see through the lens of a fifth dimensional vibrational state or frequency, is that it is holy, it is whole, it's in body. It is slow and subtle and grounded. It's not, kind of buzzy. When you get buzz, like, "Oh," it's not like that. Everything can still be happening, and you're walking through it with a different state of awareness. Um, you're more open without trying to be open. You're more loving without trying to be loving. You're more receptive without trying to be receptive. You're more present without trying to be present. Um, and this is our natural state. And all of you are walking towards this. All of you, the entire planet is walking towards this. And there are billions of humans on the planet that will not feel any of this for a very long time and perhaps their entire life. Those like when the wind is blowing and there's those wind things that blow and down the road. What do they call those big it's like a big bush and it just flops through the desert. um, I don't know what they're called, but you know what it is. You know what I mean. Um, when you're not aware of tumbleweed, yes, tumbleweed. So there's billions of humans that are just these beautiful tumbleweeds, and they're just going with the wind. They're just going with life, and it's incredible and it's amazing. And a lot of us look around and say, "What's it like to be a tumbleweed?" and just do and laugh. But when you are conscious, which is what you are, it can be much more tumultuous. Um, you are thrown around, you're picked up and tossed on the ground, you're pushed up against walls, you're dirty and scarred, and it's just a different experience going through the desert wind when you are conscious. Not better than, not less than. It's just a very different experience, and perhaps more painful at times, but also it is a shift that is necessary for the planet, because what you are doing, my friend, is you are anchoring um, energies into your body through that awareness. Okay. When you become more aware of your thoughts, when you become more aware of your emotions, when you become more aware of your relationships, when you become more aware of your behaviors, when you become more aware of how you feel. I feel different energies around this person than I do this person. I feel like this person is trying to manipulate me. I feel like this feels good. When you're aware of energies, the more you are aware of energies, the more you are becoming energetic, or holding more frequency in the body. And what that does, of course, is it anchors it down onto the planet, right? And then there becomes this higher collective frequency. So it vibrates out onto the planet, okay? And then all the billions of humans standing on the planet slowly but surely begin to shift into just a tiny bit of a higher frequency through choice of how they're going to be in the world, how they're going to respond to people. So even the ones that are the tumbleweeds are impacted by what you are doing right now in your everyday life, literally battling whatever you're battling. I want you to imagine that your body is this anchor, okay, this battery, and as it starts to hold more and more light, okay, that frequency pulsates out and down into the planetary body, and I want you to imagine that that energy goes out, onto the entire planet, and it has the potential to increase the entire collective consciousness of human bodies. But in your everyday life, looks like a shit show. Mhm. In your everyday life, you're like, if I have to listen to any more of these thoughts in my head, I'm going to go crazy, Lori. Like if I have to be any more unmotivated, I'm going to lose my mind. Like if I can't go on anymore. I can't keep doing this. I don't know I'm alone. I have no friends. I don't know how I'm going to continue to make money, or whatever it is that's going on with you is very real, right? It's very, very real. very real. But there is something that's happening behind the scenes that you forgot about, that you probably don't care about, but is happening, which is these subtle shifts in which your body is continuing to slowly hold more and more energy. And that energy is going down into the planetary body. It's spreading out and it is slowly but surely impacting an entire human collective. Now, what it's also doing is it is slowly beginning to activate what I'm calling the God particle. And this God particle is what has been activated into my awareness through this land. And thousands of years ago, if you don't know what I'm about to share, go and read my book, The Divine Design, and we'll talk a little bit about that. Um, but about 15 to 20,000 years ago, the Earth had a massive cataclysmic event and wiped out the entire planet. And it was created in an instant in a third dimension. Okay. It was never in a third dimension. Planet was recreated in a third dimensional physical reality, and humans and animals and all beings were created in a more dense physical third dimensional body. And so when spirits or souls started to incarnate onto the planet, there were these higher dimensional consciousnesses that started to incarnate onto the planet in this area, Kenya and around Kenya. They had this technology that would allow them to stay connected to the God particle within them. Now, every human body has this God particle. And the purpose of this God particle is to keep you, the human character, connected to God, source. And what happens, of course, in a third dimensional physical reality is we drop into the human body and we forget everything because of the density. Now, there were pockets on the planet, first one being this area, this it wasn't called Kenya, but it's the Kenyan area kind of region that was holding a higher vibration so that when souls incarnated into human bodies in this area, they had the potential or the ability to stay connected to the God essence that they are more easily than other humans around the world. Now, the other thing to bear in mind is that when you have darker skin, you have a ability to absorb the high frequency light coming from the sun. That absorption of high frequency light from the sun allows you to stay in a higher frequency. This is what we're doing right now. We are absorbing more light in the body so that our bodies can increase in frequency. Back then, and even now, except that the suppression is so intense that it has cut off all awareness, when you have that darker skin and you are aware of what that skin can do, then you have a higher probability of staying connected to the God that you are, the God particle within you, and it keeps you more empowered because you no longer you know who you are. The moment you know who you are, you cannot be controlled. And so what has happened over thousands of years is there has been a massive suppression of this area on the planet more than perhaps, well, there's many suppressive areas, many, but a big suppression here because of how powerful these humans were and how connected they were from the get-go to God. And so what's happening right now, at least for myself, is that I'm being brought to this land to remind myself and all of us But there is this magnificent particle within us called the God particle, which is also your spirit, your soul, God. Nothing new, right? Nothing new here. We know all this, Lori. Okay. But there is a activation of this particle that is happening right now for hundreds of thousands of humans. And it has nothing to do with changing your thoughts or changing your emotions or changing your behaviors, fixing yourself, healing yourself. It doesn't have anything to do with that. It has everything to do with accessing and activating it, which is what I'm learning how to do based on what they're going to tell me. And then I'm going to tell you, and then you're going to start doing it. All of you are already doing it. You're already accessing it. You're already activating it. You're already slowly remembering. But this is not about changing you. You are not who you are changing. You are not all the healing that you've been doing. You're not your thoughts that you think you are. You're not the emotional states. You're not the behaviors. You're not the trauma. You're not who your parents told you you were. You're none of that. That's the character you're playing. Welcome to the human experience. And all of that gets to be there. All of it. You can have all the distorted thoughts and all the different emotions and all the different behaviors. None of that matters when you remember who you are. You don't have to you don't have to get rid of any of that in order to remember that you are God in here, or call it whatever you want. I don't care. The name doesn't matter. But when you start to choose to remember this every day, all day, in the midst of the chaotic corruption, manipulation, mind control, fear that's being inundated right now, the more you choose to force yourself to remember this, the more you're going to step into this empowered, free state that has nothing to do with raising your vibration. It has nothing to do with feeling only certain emotions. It has nothing to do with only thinking certain thoughts. All of that's the program. That all starts to dissolve when you realize and start to come into and activate this particle of God that's you. It's a game changer when we can start to open the door to this. And it's beyond challenging right now to start doing this based on where you are on the planet. If you live in the United States, God bless you. God bless you, because it's insane. It is heavy. But there is a shift happening in how we start to understand what we are going through and what we are navigating. And this shift is quite simple. It is not about continuing to heal and fix you. It's not about raising your frequency. It's not about setting up the perfect situation with people in your life. And it is about recognizing that all of this gets to be here. And now it's a leveling up and saying, holy shit, I can no longer be distracted by continuing to try to fix and change what I have never, ever been, so that I can have this kind of cheat sheet straight into who I have always been. Right? And then you start to beat the system. You see, the system wants to keep you in the fix and change and heal, and it's beautiful. It works. It makes sense. It has a role. But all of you have graduated out of that. Even in the midst of you trying to fix yourself and heal yourself and change your thoughts and change your emotions and change your behaviors and blah, blah, blah. I'm telling you right now, if you're listening to this video, okay, live or on the replay, You've graduated out of that way of being on the planet. Otherwise, you wouldn't be listening to this. So, what that means is you have to start to change the way you see yourself in the world. The world does not need to change. Your thoughts don't have to change. Your emotions don't have to change. Even your behaviors don't have to change. Everything starts to change the moment you let go of trying to change everything and you come back to this particle. You figure out how to get back in here. And you all know this. You all know this because you knew it prior to coming into the body. This is nothing new. I'm not telling you anything new. I'm not inventing something. I'm not making something up. I'm not like, oh, I'm this genius. I'm going to tell you this information. Merlinda, thank you for that super chat. I, I'm not a genius. I'm not some enlightened person. I'm just a human waking up out of the illusion that I have been anything that I have thought myself to be. And I'm remembering, and then I'm like, holy shit, now what do we do? And then I'm sharing it to wake you guys up to the next level of the evolution, which is that we stop freaking trying to fix and heal and change ourselves in the midst of 99.9% of humanity still doing it. Not everyone's going to resonate with this. When you fix and heal and change yourself, it feels good, except then you keep fixing, healing, and changing yourself. God doesn't do that. You understand? Your whole life will change when you start to make a conscious choice to remember that there's a God particle, that there's something inside of you. And you have to commit to that. You have to choose to commit to that in the midst of your depression, in the midst of your anxiety, in the midst of your sadness. And Jens, thank you so much for that super chat. You have to choose. You have to commit. There's no easy way around the easiest thing you will ever do. And this is something that it's the craziest thing to be in this evolution because who we have always been is right inside. It's this essence. It's maybe like a particle of God inside us the whole time. And yet every day, all day, every breath we take, every step we take, everything we do, we don't remember. We're not connected. We forgot. And we're in survival. It is this very slow peeling back, and peeling back of who you have always thought yourself to be. One of the things, so lots of you are saying right now, okay, that's great. What do I do? How do I get in there and kind of like break free while still standing in, the world? One of the things is that you have to continue to become aware and conscious of every single time you're trying to get out of what you're in. Why am I still here? Be aware of that. Oh, wow, look at what I just said. Why am I still here? When you are aware of that, then you are recognizing that you believe yourself to be what you're in. You say to yourself, I don't understand why I have to keep doing this or why I have to keep feeling this. Just bring awareness. Wow, I really believe I'm stuck in this. I really believe I'm in this. I am this experience. I'm really sick and tired of my body being so sick and so this. These are valid. They deserve to be there. They are part of your experience. They are so powerful and beautiful, but they're not you. Okay? So you have to start to peel yourself or pull yourself back from you being the experience. And the first way you do that is you start to become more and more aware of the lens you are using to see you in this world. You don't have to stop it. You don't have to fix it or change it. Just have the simple awareness, change the lens, okay? See yourself in it. that make sense? See yourself in it. I is the second thing is that what I would do a lot is constantly say, and I still do it, I am soul, or I am God, or I am awareness, or I am, um, I am source, or I am whatever it is that resonates with you. Say it over and over and over and over again, all day long if you need to. Um, Hold on one second. Okay, sorry. I am soul, I am soul, I am soul, I am soul, I am soul. I am that I am. Yeah, you've got to observe. You've got to observe. You've got to observe. You've got to observe. What was the other thing I wanted to share with you guys? Everything's designed to be simple. Everything why everything is designed to be simple. It's just very, very challenging. Oh, here's what I wanted to share with you guys as well. Here's another thing I want, and if there's any questions, ask away. Um, why are we here? Why are we here? Well, my friend, you came here in order to assist the planetary body and the human collective into a different state of being, so that humanity itself could start to experience itself in different ways, in new ways. And so whether you want to believe this or like to believe this, you chose as a soul to raise your hand, or as spirit, or as light, or whatever you want to call yourself, and you raised your hand and you said, I want to go down there. Maybe you've come down hundreds of times. I want to go down there, and I want to help shift the collective frequency of that planetary body in order to bring that human collective into new states of being. So you imagine you are taking a group of people that have been stuck in specific ways of being for a very long time, and they have the potential or the ability to be in very different ways where there is love and unity, and flow, and just co-creation, and just a real beautiful way of living. But they're in this other state for a while, and it's darker, it's heavier, there's a lot of fear, there's a lot of control, that kind of thing. And you know that if you start to go down and incarnate, you are choosing to have the ability to impact or to pull this human collective group into new ways of being. And so you said, I would love to do that. That would be the greatest idea ever. I'll sign up. And so you started to sign up. Maybe this is your first lifetime. Maybe you've had hundreds or thousands of lifetimes, but you jumped in order to make an impact. And what it looks like right now in your life is that there's a little you walking around, okay, trying to navigate and survive an intense energetic battle, where this collective energy that is in this lower vibrational state is being pulled into this higher vibrational state. It's being pulled by all of the humans that are continuing to put one foot in front of the other and push themselves beyond the limits that are contained in this way of being. And so it's new, it's different, it's confusing, it's out of the ordinary, it's away from everybody else. You feel like a lone, the lone sheep, or you don't fit in, or you're confused. All of these things that you guys are feeling is you literally energetically pulling an entire human collective into new frequencies. So what does it look like to you? You lost your job, you're sitting at home, you're thinking, 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 thinking. It's trying to break you out of the idea that you have to stay stuck in something that makes you miserable. So now you're having to expand your awareness into this idea that perhaps you're worthy of doing a job on the planet that makes you happy and you make money at it, right? Maybe you're sitting at home and you just got a divorce or you just lost a family member or whatever it is that you're going through. It's gifting you an opportunity to break out of ways that you have been and ways in which you have thought so that you can start to be in new ways, which then pulls the frequency of the entire human collective. That's what you're doing here. That's why you chose to be here. And it doesn't mean that you're going to remember this necessarily, but hopefully you will. Hopefully you'll remember it, because the more that you can remember this, the more you can you can actually cheer yourself on. You can be proud of yourself no matter what you're in, no matter what you're going through, no matter how intense it is. And you can start shutting out everybody else that's telling you what to do and what to think. I do want to bring this up. I think this is an important piece. There is and I'm not trying to do this to like bring up fear, but there is a heavy amount of infiltration of energies into people right now. Okay. And just imagine it like little fleas. And these little fleas feed off of light. Okay. Light from that person and light from other people. There's nothing wrong with these individuals. There isn't anything wrong with these energies. It's just a way in which a human collective can be kept in lower frequencies. The infiltration of humans has leveled up, where these fleas have been released almost, okay? And they are coming into humans that are courageously trying to move the entire human collective into higher frequencies. These humans do not know this. They are not aware of these fleas coming in. But this is how it's going to feel when you are connecting with people that have been infiltrated. God bless them and God bless us. God bless everybody. This is real. Thank you, Newman Art, for that. People, you're going to more and more, you're going to start feeling people doubting you, questioning you, making you doubt yourself, making you question yourself, making you insecure, but they do it in subtle ways. They don't do it outright, okay? They do it in these very almost passive aggressive ways. And it will make you feel, you'll just start being like, wait, why am I doing this? Why am I saying this? Wait a second. Now, many of you will be like, oh yeah, that's my narcissistic dad. This is not narcissism. This is an infiltration of these energies coming into people that they are not aware of. And these energies are now trying to kind of block the shift and change that you and I are going through. And how does it do that? It makes us question and doubt ourselves. And when we do that, we stop. We say, maybe I don't need to do that. Maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe that's not okay. You know what? You're right. I don't know why I was deciding to do that. And that is how they just being energies that have been controlling this planet for thousands of years, that is how they slow down the natural process of evolution. They've released these fleas and it's infiltrating incredible humans that are doing incredible work or are here to do incredible work, and also just regular Joe Schmoes on the street. And when you connect and communicate, you are going to feel doubtful, insecure, unworthy. You're going to stop yourself in your tracks. You're going to have all these weird thoughts coming in. Pay attention. Pay attention. Recognize it. This is not so that you become defensive. This is not so that you can argue and prove your point. This is not for you to challenge them. This is for you to be able to start to see on an energetic level more and more that this is an energetic battle you are in, and that you never, ever need to fight to defend you and who you are and what you think and what you feel and what you want to say and what you want to do. And the more you have people that are trying to somehow subtly or not so subtly stop you, you become even more powerful because you see it. You don't play in it, you don't buy it. In fact, it makes you even more committed to following whatever it is that is unique within you that wants to come out in order for you to be a massive catalyst in this evolutionary shift. It doesn't matter how depressed or anxious or sad or irritated or any of that. None of that matters. What matters is that you are starting to come online more and more. What matters is that you will most likely have people in your life that perhaps are going to try to stop you, not because they're bad people, but there's been an infiltration. And you may feel yourself caving in, closing in, doubting yourself, getting confused, not sure, listening to other people. This is why, my friends, it is so important you stop listening and following what other people are telling you. You got to stop. There is a uniqueness within you that was born for this time, a uniqueness that only you have. And maybe it's just you being you, in your house, in your neighborhood, in your town, doesn't matter. It's not this spectacular person that you have to step into and be on stage or something. This is just you remembering your uniqueness, and that uniqueness is your God particle. And that it wants to speak, it wants to be, it wants to break free, it wants to impact, it wants to change, it wants to shift this entire planet by being itself. And the more that you courageously keep showing up, you are going to be challenged by just simply being you. It'll be harder and harder to just be you. And that's a sign that you're moving in the right direction. It will give you strength and power to actually just be you. The more you recognize you're doubting yourself, the more you recognize you're insecure, the more you recognize you're listening to other people before you're listening to what other people say and not you. I had a friend of mine the other day, one of my greatest friends. She said, I'm never going to meet my partner. And I said, why? She goes, because I keep screwing it up. And I'm like, what do you mean you keep screwing it up? She's like, well, all these psychics told me that this is the year I'm going to meet my husband, or this is the year I'm going to meet my partner. And then it never comes. And then another psychic tells me that this is the year I'm going to meet my partner. I said, so let me get this straight. You're basing your worth. You're telling yourself that you've screwed everything up because a psychic told you that you're supposed to meet your husband this year and you didn't? No, we don't do that. We don't live that way. We don't base our worth on what a potential could have been based on a psychic that was reading a potential timeline. Mm-mm. We choose who we are. We choose our worthiness. We choose our uniqueness. We choose to remember. Nobody else. No teacher, no friend, no family member, no partner. And when you can do that more and more, then you can begin to activate that particle of God or soul or spark or source, whatever you want to call it, spirit within you. And you begin to live free as you, no matter what people think, no matter what people believe, no matter any of that. You stop listening to the external world. In fact, you turn it off because it's just really loud. And then you start changing the world by being you. That's it. And so pay attention. Just pay attention to all of the things or the beliefs that you're holding about yourself based on the external world. Just be aware. Be aware. Just awareness, my friends. Awareness. Okay? All right. We are complete. We are complete. I don't feel good. My stomach's a little upset. Um, I am in Kenya until, I don't know, the 28th, 29th, and then I'm going to Greece again for a week to get some more messages, and then I'm coming back to Kenya. Oh, really quickly, you guys, I am going the food is so good. Okay, a lot of you vegans are not gonna be happy about this, but, um, you can literally pull off of the side of the road and stop at one of these, like, restaurants that are just sort of they're outdoor kind of restaurants, and, oh my god, they serve you, goat. It's fresh. There's gonna be a lot of people not happy with this. Um, it's so good, and then you get this ungali, which is like a like a I don't know, like a rice kinda dish, but it's not rice, it's I don't know how to explain it. It's freaking amazing, and then the fruit's out of this world. So much fruit, um, and I've been trying to eat that mostly, not a lot of the food at the lodges, if I stay at the lodges, they're not that great. Um, there's tons of veggies and tons of fruit. There's everything's here, everything. But, what I wanted to share with you guys before I go is I feel really called. So there's this lake I was at, and I'm going back to this lake to write the book I'm writing right now, my second book I'm writing. It's called Lake Nakuru, and it's, here in Kenya. It's so powerful. Oh my god, it is so activating. It has such a galactic energy to it, Lake Nakuru. And, I'm going back there for 7 days to just sit and write my book. And, I'm gonna do a live event when I'm there. Um, I'm gonna yeah, I'm gonna do a really powerful live event when I'm there. So it'll be on October 13th. So stay on the lookout for the link to join. Um, yeah, it's gonna be powerful. All right, anything else before I go? Yeah, close your ears. Sorry, you guys. Veggies and fruit are delicious. Oh my god, the lake is incredible. Wait till you guys if hopefully you can join the live event. It's really, really powerful. It's complicated. Um, all right, you guys, I'm gonna get going. Does anybody have a quick question before? We have 6 minutes left before I end. Any question? The next Align course is in November. It'll be Align 9.0. It'll be the last one of the year. It'll be mid-November to mid-December. How to know where compassion stops and self-satisfaction starts. Well, they both exist at the same time. Like, compassion is just compassion can always be there. You know, you can have compassion for everything. If you need to fix something, but you can't fix it, I'm stumped how it fixes itself. Awareness. It's magic. Awareness. You start to become who asked that? Day trader success coach. Just simply being more and more aware of what you are trying to fix and starting to settle into not needing to fix it fixes it, shifts it. It's not even a fix, it just shifts it. Shifts it. How to sleep better. Oh god, that's a doozy. Thank you, Torsten, for that super chat. How to sleep better. Um, I don't know. There's all kinds of kind of supplements that you can do and take. Not having any devices, turning your 5G off, um, not listening or watching anything before you go to bed, taking a warm shower. I think I was taking melatonin drops. Melatonin? Magnesium. Exercise. There was something else I was taking. It wasn't magnesium. I think it was melatonin. I was taking at night. And it was helping a lot. I also was taking this CBD, the CBD tincture that had a little bit of TLC. Wait, no, THC, had a little bit of THC in it. Yeah, ashwagandha, melatonin, magnesium. How do you trust and settle in when you've seen so many family members go through trauma, sickness, and poverty? I mean, you can you can drop into whatever emotion or feeling that you're having, right? And allow that to be okay. So I don't trust, allowing that you don't trust to be okay. I'm not settled in this, allowing that to be okay. So shifting the awareness to something's wrong with me not trusting, or something's wrong with me being unsettled, or I should feel trusting, I should feel settled, to no, it's okay, I don't trust. It's okay that I'm not settled. And see what happens when you become okay with it. And that's what happens when we allow for whatever is, because that allowing shifts it. You drop into a different state of being. Okay, you guys, I'm gonna get going. I do not feel good. I don't know what's going on. But I did get these amazing bananas on the side of the road the other day. They're the best bananas. They're so sweet. I got all these bananas and then like 5 more for like, I don't know, $1. They're so freaking delicious. Fresh, right off the trees. Oh, that's it. I'll see you guys. I don't know if I'm gonna do Untangled next Tuesday. I may or may not, depending upon if I have good internet, but, we will try to. Um, okay. I love you guys, and I'll see you next week. If you're in my Patreon, I'll see you on Saturday for our live Q&A. Lots of love to you guys. Mwah.